Hello, 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 beloveds. Kirstin Hanson here. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time of day it is. This is the morning of the dove. It is our daily consecration, our daily coming together, of returning us to the eternal love of the divine presence. And I'm so grateful you're here with me. I am so grateful that you are here with me and that I get to do this with you. So we take this opportunity, you and I, to lean into devotion. Devotion that embraces a sacred pause, just a moment, just a brief moment in time to allow for the life-giving breath that flows through us to reveal itself in awareness and returning us yet again to the presence that is always here, always within you. So welcome. This week, we're talking about the new world, the birthing of the new world, the world born of light, of love, of peace, of harmony, the new vibrational world that is available to us. And today's topic is love in the midst of suffering and how to really, really take on the vibrational tone of love and peace and belief and faith and trust in the seemingness of a world that is not responding, that appears to not be responding, but also within us when we can't seem to get out of the loop that controls us, the suffering, the pain, the hurt. Right? We've talked a lot about spiritual bypassing. We've talked about the power of the mind. We've talked about energetic hygiene. And yet, there are still humans and animals in our planet, in the universe, that is still suffering, that is still in the pain, that is still being impacted by some of the heinous experiences that are occurring. So I want to speak about that. Really want to touch that, right? So on Wednesday nights, we do the Heart of Magdalene, Soul of Sophia. And that is the compassionate fierceness of the divine feminine. And the reason I brought that up is because it's so important to embrace compassion in this time. As we're emerging into a new world, as we're moving into the field of vibrations and beginning to hold those for longer and longer ins and out breaths of a world, we're all interconnected. So we're even breathing with Mother Earth as she breathes in and breathes out. We're moving into a higher vibrational field, becoming the true nature of the universe with her, breathing this in and out. And as humanity expands into new frequencies of humanity, many are still carrying the imprints in their body and in their mind of trauma, exhaustion, illness, and despair. So we're going to speak to this today, and we're going to speak to it directly. And right now, we're going to take a moment to pray. And so I invite you, if you are this person, to allow yourself to be wrapped in this prayer and be held. If it is somebody you love, I invite you to wrap them in this prayer and allow them to be held in your mind and be held in the mind and in the heart. And if it is for the world, if it is for the humanity, if it is for Earth, if it is for human, if it is for the environment, if it is for the universe, please wrap them in this prayer. Our prayers make a difference. It moves into the vibrational field, It's why we call it evocation rather than invocation. We're evoking the living presence, the living laws, the living truths of the universe, of God, this holy presence. And it indwells within us. So, beloveds, please place your hand on your heart. And allow the light to come through your heart. And what I want you to hear, if you happen to be this one that is in the suffering, I really want you to know that you are loved. You are loved, you are loved, you are loved, and you are held, you are protected, and you are cared for. And even if you can't see it, even if the world appears to not validate that, you are beloveds. You are, you are, you are, you are loved. You are a beloved child of the Most High. And so we just send our prayers and our loves and our heart and our light, amplifying out to everyone in need. This is the mother's milk, feeding the world of the much needed love, the much needed peace, the much needed compassion, the much needed grace. This is the mother's milk that nourishes and feeds all of humanity, all of earth, her compassion, her love, her outpouring, her outpicturing. And we just know that in the goodness of all that is, that hearts are held, lives are saved, bodies are moved, and healing is done. We live in the wholeness of the living presence, the vibratory field of wholeness. And I know that this new earth, this new world, this new universe that we are moving into holds the frequency that all of God's living loved ones are cared for. I know it is done. I know it is done. And so it is. Okay, so beloveds, today we're going to talk about love in the midst of suffering. As I stated, this is the field of humanity that expands into new frequencies of coherence. And we know that many still carry the imprints of disruption in the mind and in the body. We know that trauma lives within our body. Somatic awareness and somatic science teaches us that. Epigenetic teaches us that. We have exhaustion from burnt out systems, adrenal systems. Illness is born of thoughts of anxiety, despair. So what I really want to be clear of, and this is something that spiritual teachers really, that we all need to be mindful of, having these does not mean you failed as a spiritual being. There is no perfect spiritual being, right? That's the beauty of being human. We're imperfect. So there's no failure. You're not doing anything wrong spiritually. We grow, we evolve, we continue, we must continue to grow in our awareness, right? We talked a lot about awareness. So there is no shame. This is not a shame. It is human and natural to be affected by events that disrupt our nervous system, in our mind. There are things that bring real fear. Yep, there are things that bring real fear. There are things that happen to us that take time to heal. I'm a victim of them. I'm also resurrected out of it. So I'm a both and. So I am not speaking to you from some spiritual highfalutin rock that I sit on. I am somebody that dug the F out of the mud to sit before you. We have a nervous system, a psyche, a collective mind. that we are learning to sustain higher resonance. And I think that's the key word here. We are learning. So every turn of the wheel, we get better. So there are some of us who are able to hold the stability, and those that can have a sacred charge to become pillars of calm, to be a calming presence, so that others may rest in the safety of our field. Now, it could be that in our community, like today I have it, tomorrow I don't, but she might, or he might, or they might. So it's important to recognize when I don't have it, so I can go care for my internal systems and pass it on. I don't have to be perfect. Being a spiritual student or a spiritual master, because they're both and, understands that they don't have to be all things at all times to all people. But it is important on the days that we have it, the moments that we have it, that we are pillars of a calm presence when the rest of the world can't. Compassion is here not to pity. Compassion is not pity. Compassion is a resonance. And true compassion does not need to do the work for somebody else. True compassion allows the pillow for others to heal and then lift up. And we don't look down on pain from some elevated state. There are many spiritual teachers that will, make really non-mature states. Well, if you just did this, you wouldn't feel that. Or if you were doing this, you wouldn't be having this feeling. Nope. Nope, we're human. And on any given day, we fall into our humanness. That's actually the story of Sophia. But what we do on a continuum through building our muscle, we meet in the center of love, where polarities are resolved. And in this place, we teach the resonance of love and light. So to love those still suffering is our great responsibility. That healing does not always look radiant. It sometimes looks like endurance. Trust me. Sometimes it looks like a single breath that says, I'm still here. I got up today. I made it up today. In these moments, the light within us, the light within you, the light within me is the same light within them. However, we get to hold the light for them. It is one presence expressing through many forms. Spiritual maturity asks us to keep our vibration clear, not as superiority, but as stewardship. I am here to serve. I am not here to stand over or under. I am here to stand with. And some days I do it well, and so I can help you. Other days people are doing it well, and they help me. That is stewardship. That is unity. That is community. And that is understanding with spiritual maturity, our medicine in the world. Every time we breathe peace into chaos, we help repattern the entire collective body towards wholeness. The more peaceful the world becomes, the less impact on individual bodies, less wear and tear. We must remember that we must see the divine in the midst of a disorder to help the earth remember her original harmony. And then it moves into a privilege and a practice that grace flows through, healed and unhealed alike, restoring what trauma has broken. But I want you to know the soul and the spirit can never be broken. You must understand that. It is a myth because we live in non-dual, which is a true wholeness is always present. It is in our remembering that the reparation occurs and our divine inheritance of wholeness is restored to us. But we are fatigued. We are fatigued by the effects of the world of phenomena. So it's important to remember that when we are doing well, to hold the vibration for others as a steward of the light, because we are still in the effects of the old world, and many are hurting, and many are suffering. And until they move with us, we're all still in that field of coherence of the old world as the new world anchors. We're a both and. We have one foot in one world and one foot in the other. I'm really an advocate for moving into the other, and I really hope you come with me. And we remember that every trembling surface of the human heart has the infinite shining within it, and it is our job to remove the debris so that the light may shine bright from them, because they are the living light. Okay, beloveds, we love in the midst of suffering. And even when we are the one in suffering, we can find our way to love. Love is there too. I love you, beloveds. I love you, beloveds. Thank you for letting me do this work. Ah, so it is.